Hello children, how are all of you? Now moving on to the next lesson of our class 8 textbook, English textbook, A Magic Place. Today we will begin with the poem titled Govinda's Disciple, written by none other than Rabindranath Tagore. Now a little information about this great poet. Rabindranath Tagore was born on May 7, 1861 in Calcutta, now known as Kolkata. He was a Bengali poet, short story writer, song composer, playwright, essayist, and painter. He was highly influential in introducing Indian culture to the West and vice versa. In 1913, he became the first non-European to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature. Then in 1901, Tagore founded an experimental school in rural West Bengal called Shantiniketan. In 1915, Tagore was awarded a knighthood, but he gave up that title in 1919 as a protest against the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. You must have heard about this in your history. His compositions were chosen by two nations as national anthem: India's Janagana Mana and Bangladesh's Amor Shonar Bangla. Okay, so these two countries have taken Rabindranath Tagore's poems or compositions as their respective countries' national anthem. So this is a little information about this great Indian poet Rabindranath Tagore, the only Indian who happened to be getting the Nobel Prize in Literature. Okay, now I will read out the poem slowly, and likewise place your textbooks also in front of you and go through the poem as I read it out. Actually, this poem is written in very simple language, and it is in a story form, so there is not much hidden explanation in this. It's just basically the direct whatever is written there that goes with the explanation. Okay, so pay attention. I am reading out the poem Govinda's Disciple, written by Rabindranath Tagore. Far below flowed the Jumna, swift and clear; above frowned the jutting bank. Hills dark with the woods and scarred with torrents were gathered around. Govinda, the great Sikh teacher, sat on the rock reading scriptures when Raghunath, his disciple, proud of his wealth, came and bowed to him and said, "I have brought my poor present, unworthy of your acceptance." Thus saying, he displayed before the teacher a pair of gold bangles wrought with costly stones. The master took up one of them, twirling it round his finger, and the diamonds darted shafts of light. Suddenly it slipped from his hand and rolled down the bank into the water. "Alas!" screamed Raghunath, and jumped into the stream. The teacher set his eyes upon his book, and the water held and hid what it stole and went its way. The daylight faded when Raghunath came back to the teacher, tired and dripping. He panted and said, "I can still get it back if you show me where it fell." The teacher took up the remaining bangle and, throwing it into the water, said, "It is there." So this is the poem what was written by Rabindranath Tagore. So now I will be explaining it line by line. I will go with the explanation. I will tell you, it is, four lines, and in the middle I've taken 6 lines. So as I'm explaining, I will tell you which lines I'm explaining. So basically this poem actually is a very, very thoughtful poem, and it highlights the importance of spirituality over materialism. Okay, children. So here it is, if you want to gain spiritual enlightenment and all, you have to sacrifice, material or luxurious likings. So here the central idea of the poem revolves around the idea that is an renunciation of one's attachments to material possessions to create space for divinity to enter our minds and to make it for a spiritual path. Okay, so if you want to gain spiritual enlightenment, you cannot at the same time, hold on to your materialistic needs. You have to give up something there. Okay, and basically this poem consists of only 2 characters. The main character is Govinda, who is a Sikh teacher and who is seated on the banks of the Yamuna, and who is, engrossed in reading his scriptures. And the second one is Raghunath, who is seeking knowledge from his guru. Okay, so the 2 characters that are involved in this poem are Govinda, the Sikh teacher, and Raghunath, the disciples. Okay, so now I will start off with the explanation of the poem, taking the first 4 lines. Far below flowed the Jumna, swift and clear. Above frowned the jutting bank. Hills dark with the woods and scarred with the torrents were gathered around. Okay, so now the explanation of the first 4 lines here. The poem, when we read the first 4 lines, it actually transports the reader from the worldly surroundings into the lap of nature. So here, the description of nature is given. We can see that, the poet Tagore gives us a description of the river can be seen from a distance, and it is flowing, swiftly with clear water. And he says that, this is, flowing into the wilderness. It is, because this setting is in the forest, and the river Jamuna is flowing very, very swiftly. Clear waters are flowing there, and the flow of the water is, quite fast. And he says that the water can be seen, the river can be seen from a distance flowing swiftly. And he says, and the banks of the river is lined up with jutted rocks. Now jutted is nothing but protruding rocks. Okay, so the banks of the rivers, as the waters are flowing, it is, you can see rocks of different shapes and sizes are protruding out from the banks. Okay, then he also goes on to explain that he can say that the hills are dark. The hills are dark here because he says that the forest is dense, because the hills seem to be dark because it is a dense forest there, and that's why it gives an appearance of darkness. And he says that they were scarred by the fast moving stream that journeyed through the hills. And he says that the movement of the fast moving stream was the one that could be, seen flowing through this thick dense forest. Okay, so this is the explanation of the first 4 lines. Now moving on to the explanation of the next 4 lines, that is Govinda, the great Sikh teacher, sat on the rock reading scriptures. When Raghunath, his disciple, proud of his wealth, came and bowed to him and said, I have brought my poor present unworthy of your acceptance. So now here he says that in the midst of this natural beauty, the great Sikh teacher Govinda was seated on a rock and he was reading the holy scriptures. Okay, he was reading one of the holy books, and it was at that time when he was, interrupted by one of his disciples, Raghunath, who happened to be a rich man, and also he had come visiting his guru, and he did not come empty hand. He had come bearing gifts for his guru, and the gifts that he bought was none other than precious oh, costly gifts. So bowing in front of his guru, he said that he had bought a small gift for his guru, that is for his guru Govinda, in the hope that it was worthy of the sage's acceptance. Okay, because these holy people, they have actually renounced all worldly pleasures, and they have adapted to the simple life of the village, mainly because they want to attain spiritual enlightenment. So he has given up all worldly pleasures. So when Raghunath, this disciple, he had come to visit his guru Govinda, he was hesitant as to whether these gifts would be accepted by his guru. So he was hesitant, and that's why he was doubtful whether these costly gifts would be accepted by his guru. So he was hesitant initially to give these gifts to his guru. Okay, then moving on to the next 6 lines of the poem. Thus saying, he displayed before the teacher a pair of gold bangles wrought with costly stones. The master took up one of them, twirling it round his finger, and the diamonds darted shafts of light. Suddenly it slipped from his hand and rolled down the bank into the water. So the explanation of the next 6 lines is that Raghunath, now he is standing in front of his guru, and then he places forth the gold or the costly gold bangles that he had bought to be presented as a gift to his teacher. And these gold bangles were not any ordinary gold bangles, they were costly bangles that were studded with precious stones, and he had intended to present it to his teacher. So now as he placed it in front of his teacher, the guru or the master took one of these bangles and held them in his hand. And as he held them in between his fingers, he kept on turning them round and round, and while doing so, the precious stones or the diamonds that was studded on these bangles, they started glittering as they caught the rays of the sunlight on them. Okay, so then as he was catching these, or as he was holding these bangles, not these bangles, as he was holding this one bangle in his hand, it suddenly slipped from his hand and rolled down into the banks. It rolled down the banks into the flowing waters. Okay, and so when he saw this, he was a little disappointed. Okay, so watching his costly gift go rolling into the water, he screamed and he tried to retrieve it by jumping into the stream. Okay, children, so I will stop my first module here and I will continue the remaining of the explanation with the second module.